She is the former chairperson of the Florida House of Representatives District 108 Health Task Force, former chairperson of the Florida Senate District 38 Health Task Force, and former Senate Health Advisor of District 38. I now introduce to you the President of the Florida Senate District 38 Advisory Board, Jennifer Leslie. A nice round of applause.
Thank you, everyone. Senator Dr. Daphne Campbell, she's on her way. Board and task force members, people in the audience, how are you doing?
Good.
Awesome.
By the way, we have some special people in the audience, and we're going to tell you about them later on. Welcome to Florida State Senate District 38 Advisory Board meeting. District 38 comprises of 15 cities and towns, and we're going to name each of them individually. Miami Beach, good evening. There are 15 cities, and we want to make sure that we greet each city individually. Miami Beach, good evening.
Buenas tardes, buenas noches, Miami Beach. En Creole.
Aventura, good evening.
Aventura, buenas noches.
Aventura, bonsoir.
Sunny Isles, Beach, good evening.
Sunny Isles, Playa, buenas noches.
Sunny Isles Beach, bonsoir.
Golden Beach, good evening.
Buenas noches, Golden Beach o Playa Dorada.
Okay, North Miami Beach, good evening. North Miami, good evening. Bal Harbor, good evening. Bay Harbor Islands, good evening. Biscayne Park, good evening. Indian Creek Village, good evening. Town of Surfside, good evening. Miami Shores Village, good evening. Village of El Portal, good evening. North Bay Village, good evening. Did I leave anyone out? Okay. I would like to start by introducing our board, our advisory board, and I'll start with Dr. White, the new vice president of the board.
May I, Madam President? Hi, everyone. Good evening. Welcome. My name is Dr. Norman White. I am the Vice President of the Citizens Advisory Board in District 38. That includes 15 cities and towns. I would like to thank our Honorable Senator Daphne Campbell for appointing me to serve in this position where I can be an exceptional advisor to assist the Senator in resolving whatever critical issues exist. It is an honor to serve on this board and a wonderful opportunity to bring some good ideas to help move all of our cities within District 38 and Miami-Dade County forward. My mission is not only to advise our Senator Campbell, the President of the Advisory Board, Jennifer Leslie, the board members, task force members, other leaders and elected officials, but most importantly, to inspire synergy from all of us. Furthermore, I also plan to foster an atmosphere that will create a powerful, unified effort from all of the board members, task force members, elected officials, community activists, community leaders, and other stakeholders within District 38. I will also diligently urge the Senator Campbell to continue fighting to bring more funding to the 15 cities and towns within District 38. I will also urge the communities throughout the 15 cities and towns in District 38 to help us help you. My vision is that the entire Citizen Advisory Board members and task force members work closely together in an organized and respectful manner. Furthermore, we all must understand our respective roles and work diligently to execute each assigned task given. I also hope to help Senator Campbell improve the services for the elderly, empower small and large businesses, push for school safety, support law enforcement, support the fire department, promote diversity, support innovative technology, improving access to education, keep the conversation going about inclusion and fairness within the organizations throughout the district, and passing good laws that will improve District 38. Lastly, I encourage everyone to take initiative to do whatever it takes to improve our communities throughout our beloved District 38 and to continue supporting our beloved Senator Daphne Campbell. Thank you.
That's a lot of things that you want to do, Dr. White. He's very ambitious, isn't he?
It can be done.
I agree. Now, just over a year ago, Senator Daphne Campbell created an advisory board. The board identified 12 pressing issues that the community was facing at that time. Senator then formed 12 task forces to assist in the development of recommendations for those 12 issues. Senator Campbell and her board has also identified a governmental public liaison from each of the 15 cities and towns to assist in developing, promoting, and maintaining intergovernmental relationships within the district. I would like to continue with the introduction of our Florida Senate District 38 Advisory Board. Dr. Tikem has become more than a friend. She toils hard day and night in helping me to organize the task forces. She is one that never says no. Please help me welcome the Secretary of the Florida Senate District 38 Advisory Board and Senate Health Advisor for District 38, Dr. Catherine Tikem.
Thank you. Madam President, all protocols observed. Thank you, everybody. Good evening. I am the District 38 Health Advisor and a member of the Advisory Board. I started my support of the Senator as the Vice Chair, then Co-Chair, and also the Chair of the Health Task Force. I received a doctorate degree in nursing from the University of Miami, and I work with Alma Correctional Health Services for Broward Sheriff's Office. I care for incarcerated patients, they are also human, within the Broward County Sheriff's Office facilities. I have been recognized and received multiple awards of professional excellence from the Broward County Sheriff's Office, several non-governmental organizations, and the Florida Nurses Association for my community services. I have also been recognized many times by the Akwa Ibom and Oran community for my services to the people both in the USA and in Nigeria. I am very hardworking, expressing my beliefs through my volunteer services, and I relate my knowledge to the underserved within the communities here and abroad. I am a mother of 3 children with a very supportive husband of over 30-something years. As the health advisor, I would like to update this group on some of the health issues that impact the district and the future plans that we have to keep the constituents at its highest quality of health. The Florida Department of Health in 2002 had identified the Community Health Assessment, which is also named CHA, a process as one of the 6 statewide health priorities. During the same period, they launched its mobilization for action through planning and partnership initiatives supported by the Center for Disease Control. in the state of Florida, Miami-Dade is the largest metropolitan area. There are significant health and socioeconomic disparities, mainly because 52% of its 2.5 million residents are foreign-born, a percent greater than any other American county. The Florida Department of Health in 2011 also indicated that health disease, cancer, stroke, chronic respiratory disease, unintentional injuries, diabetes, Alzheimer's disease, kidney disease, influenza, and pneumonia, and septicemia were the 10 leading causes of death in Miami-Dade County. The Health Advisory Board is committed to helping the constituents of District 38 to strive as we continue to prioritize the health and well-being of its residents. We understand that access is the key for a good health care. That is the reason why the senator and the health task force members made several visits to the hospitals, nursing homes, urgent cares, private clinics, and the emergency rooms in the district to gather information that will enable her to take action. Some of the information gathering helped us to formulate and generate 2 bills, the human trafficking and caregiver bills. There are 3 basic goals of the advisory council. They include, but they're not limited to, 1, to improve the residents' health status, to increase their health span, and to elevate their overall quality of health, to reduce the health disparities of its residents, and to increase access to preventative services. These are some, but not all of the things that we plan to do, helping the senator improve the health status of its constituents. I thank you for being here this evening, and with your help, we will support the president in her endeavors. Thank you once more.
I'm going to tell you a little something about Dr. Tikem. So many of us on both the task forces and the board has gotten sick at some point or another. And she always finds the time. She's never too busy. While she's practicing with her patients, she'll call us and check up on us and make sure that we're fine. She's a good person to know. Make sure you interact with her at the end of the meeting. The next board member that we want you to meet is Dr. Yinka Tella. Dr. Tella is a veteran on this board. I say that if any advice needs to be sought, it should come from this mastermind. He's very active in the community and was one of the first to be appointed to this board. Please help me welcome Dr. Yinka Tella.
Thank you very much, Madam President, for that awesome introduction. And of course, I want to thank Senator Daphne Campbell for deeming it fit to reappoint me to this board. Well, I am the Associate Dean for Student Services for the online campus and the downtown center at Broward College. So in that capacity, I basically help students to discover their dreams and to realize them. I hold a doctorate in higher education from Florida International University. I'm delighted at this opportunity to serve on Senator Campbell's Advisory Council for a second tour of duty. This is the time for us to advocate for stronger school safety legislations in the wake of what happened in Parkland. We need to advocate for tuition-free community colleges and stronger career exploration, job readiness, vocational and entrepreneurial opportunities for our youths. I stand ready to work cooperatively with the president of the board and all members of the board and all the relevant task forces to positively impact on our youth. Measures like Senate Bill 4, which will permanently expand Bright Future Scholarship and boost recruitment and retention of faculty, as well as Senate Bill 88, which makes financial literacy a graduation requirement to help liberate our youth from the debt trap, deserve our support as we work for the greater good of the people of District 38. Once again, I'm humbled by this appointment and I look forward to serving.
Dr. Yinkatella, his resume speaks for itself and he means well. Now let's all stand to acknowledge the presence of our dear Honorable Florida State Senator, Dr. Daphne Campbell. Thank you. I now move on to telling you about another board member whom I recently met. He's drawn spiritually to most people. Since his appointment to the board, he has shown humility and a willingness to work hard. Please help me welcome our new board member, Dr. Def Mondesir.
Now, I am Dr. Def A. Mondesir. I am the apostle and the CEO of New Generation and New Generation International Ministries. I have been appointed on this task force. I'm the chair of the faith-based task force, and I want to thank Senator Daphne Campbell for this appointment. Truly, I am delighted. I am excited to serve with such great individuals, such great leaders in their respective fields and their respective offices. I partner with, I believe, Apostle Howard Akins Jr. This is our vice chair, and our co-chair, Pastor Maggie, and also our second vice chair, Evangelist Kathy Bazille. Together, we believe that we'll bring great change to our community, especially where faith is concerned. We want to also give a highlight to the churches, allowing the churches to understand that they have a voice. And we have spoken with Senator Campbell, and one of the things that we're trying to do is make sure that every single church is represented in Tallahassee as it should be done. You know, and I am truly thankful for being here. I'm slightly out of breath, you know, for my tardiness, so I won't keep you all too long. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you. At this time, I would like to introduce Miss Winnie Huang.
Hi, good evening. My name is Winnie Tang, and I'm serving as Executive Director for Florida Asian Service Center in North Miami, and we have a center over there, and we've been serving the community over 20 years. And for the center, we are not only we have a senior service over there, but also now we're adding the citizenship programs. And about 2 weeks ago, we also have working with very closely with the Haitian community. We also providing the civic classes for a group of elderly. So, and now watch their progress. And in the beginning, they're very afraid about all those 100 questions. And now they've been very bravely, every step, they answer the question correctly. So, and then that will be one thing that we feel very compelling working with the community with the citizenship program. Because right now with the citizen climate in these countries, and we know a lot of people really afraid about what's going on. And also, for all you may be aware that you may heard from the news and the census 2010, now they propose right now to adding a citizenship question in the census. So a lot of that for the Asian community and work very closely in the national level. We already have a task force work together to say how to, when the public comment session come out, and I think with the senators, task force and everybody, and we will inform the community to input our public comments. If that's the time that we can really make sure that they hear our voice, and then we'll take that question out of the census. Because as we are all as an immigrant community, we all really afraid something could happen. So, and then it may be hurdle the census 2010 to be more accurately counting our community, because that relating to the funding to our state and to our community. So at that time, and we need everybody's help to comment on that one.
Next, I'd like to introduce Mr. Evans Sandford.
I've been working here with the community of North Miami Beach for over 12 years, going now on 13 years. I've been dealing, well, the industry that I'm in is the funeral industry. We own St. Ford's Funeral Home, which is right down the street here from City Hall. So when we received the call and they asked me if I'd be willing to join the board, and they told me that I'd be working with young kids, I was really excited because I said, you know, I got to get out of the funeral home because if I keep working with the dead, maybe I'll be next. So I was excited when I got the call because I said I could work with live people. You know. But I am enlightened and happy to be part of the team. I'm looking forward to you know, building something here and helping out the community. And one thing that we did last year was we created a sports events and culture task force, and we had a huge basketball tournament, and we gave away over 1,000 book bags last year. So for the first year that we did it last year, I want to just say for all of those that were here with me, we did an awesome job, and I'm proud of all of us because we had a huge turnout for us to have done it the first time. And so I'm looking forward. The plan is definitely to do this tournament again. It was held at the North Miami Senior High School, and we did it a couple weeks before school. It was really, really, really successful. So anyone here that is interested in teaming up with us, we are looking for some highly motivated, energetic, and people that are willing to really give their time. Unfortunately, you know, you're not going to get a check, but at the end of the day, you're doing a good deed for our community and the kids. So anyone interested, you can always reach out to me, and then we'll introduce you to the team.
Thank you, Mr. That was very good. Let me just elaborate on that. He just said that he gave out a lot of book bags. Okay, so Senator Daphne Campbell has given out a lot of, she's always giving the community stuff. When it's not book bags, it's food. When it's not food, it's turkeys. When it's not turkeys, it's all kinds of goodies, shirts. What else do you give? This lady is called the giving woman. She just go around and give stuff to the community. This is the kindest senator I know. Okay, so right now we've just finished introducing our board members, the advisory board members. But ladies and gentlemen, this is the best part of our program, the most important part of the night. Because now you'll get to meet some key people that make up Senator Daphne Campbell's team. You'll hear about a fraction of the great work that they've been doing to help the community. As I mentioned, there are 12 task forces, and we will start the year by launching 3 of them. The Health Task Force, the Education and Civic Engagement Task Force, and Affordable Housing Task Force. I now introduce you to the Health Task Force. Will Dr. Alejandra Arrieta, the Executive Chair of the Health Task Force, please stand while we introduce you.
Okay, let me say a few words about Dr. Arrieta. Dr. Arrieta, Alejandro Arrieta, is a health economist and faculty in the Department of Health Policy and Management at Florida International University. He's the Director of Healthcare Management Americas, an FIU initiative to build capacity and research on quality, risk management, and patient safety in Latin America. Dr. Arrieta has been consultant to the Pan American Health Organization and the Inter-American Development Bank in several projects on quality of care, primary care, and disaster risk reduction in Latin America and the Caribbean. Before he joined FIU in 2013, he held a faculty appointment at Indiana University Richard M. Fairbanks School of Public Health in Indianapolis. Help me welcome Dr. Arrieta.
Thank you. And I forget to mention that I am part of the Health Task Force for almost a year, and it's very fascinating. It has been a great experience, and I will tell you the great experience that we have as a health task force last January when we went to Tallahassee to be the voice of the community there. And I want to thank you, Senator Campbell, because thanks to her, we were able to file 2 bills that promise to have a positive impact on Floridians. And I will talk about one of the bills, and my colleagues from the Health Task Force will talk about the second. But I would say that we learned a lot as a group, as members of the Health Task Force. And now we are working very close to Senator Campbell and her staff to pass these bills when she gets re-elected, because she will be re-elected, So I'm going to tell you more about one of those 2 bills and why that bill is important to thousands of families in Florida. That bill is the Family Caregiver Tax Credit Bill. And the goal of the bill is basically to provide jobs to families that take care of a disabled member. Okay, so today we have a daughter or sons that are taking care of their mom, or a man taking care of the daughter and son with dementia, autism, Down syndrome, or we have situations of parents or partners that are taking care of a person with Alzheimer or any other type of disabilities. And even for those who have access to care, one of the key issues is that they don't have job opportunities. They don't feel productive in the society because they have to spend all the time taking care of that member. And so the bill wants to promote jobs, to create incentives to companies, to businesses that employ a family caregiver. We are going to, the bill proposed to create a tax credit to those businesses that not only employ, but also create facilities, facilitates the work environment for these members. So, it could be allowing people to work from home, or giving the family care members to have a flexible schedule, or even providing mental health support in the work environment. So that is the idea of the bill, and I will say that one of the things that we have done is to work very hard and smart on these bills by doing a lot of research on the evidence. So we want to do things that work, right? So we check in other countries, in other states, what kind of things were implemented and work, and proposing policies that are effective on that. And most importantly, to promote the bill among senators and House representatives in Tallahassee. So that advocate role, that's something we did. And all members of the Health Task Force put their skills, their experience, and their passion to be noticed and recognized in Tallahassee. So I want to say now, if all the members of the Health Task Force can stand up, so I can recognize you. Buchon, Gigi Nismon Premier, Joanne Timot, Anna Pierre, Adejinka Ovalari, Dr. Roberts. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, Senator Campbell, because your idea of having task force, not only the Health Task Force, but all these task force is brilliant, and it's going to make an impact on Florida, that's for sure. Thanks.
I have to stand. This is a very special task force. I've never come across a group of individuals that's worked so hard. They work day and night, and I don't know if they sleep. But then look at who they model after. She doesn't sleep either. She does not sleep. She works, even at night she's working. So if we had to talk about the extraordinary amount of work that Senator Daphne Campbell's Health Task Force has done in District 38, we would go on forever and forever, amen. So now you will hear from two of the very special trendsetters on the Health Task Force, Marcel Rochon and Eugenie Montpremier. Please help me welcome these two ladies.
My name is Marcel Rochon, and I am a voice ambassador for child sexual abuse and human sex trafficking for Senator Daphne Campbell. I become a voice ambassador for Senator Daphne Campbell so I could help bring awareness in the community. As we all know, human sex trafficking is a modern-day slavery that uses force, fraud, and coercion to obtain some type of labor, commercial, and sex act from victims. Human sex trafficking generates about $32 billion a year, 15 billion of which is made from industrialized countries. Human sex trafficking, an average of 14,000 to 18,000 trafficked into the U.S. a year. It is a nationwide and worldwide problem. Together, we can do something to erase or lessen human sex trafficking. Thank you.
Good evening. Bonsoir. Buenas noches. I am Eugenie Montpremier. I'm working with Marcel. I'm the head of outreach for human trafficking. First of all, I'm working with education for more than 18 years, and I'm a regional coordinator for women. And whatever problem, whatever come out to hurt a woman, a child, you hurt me too. And therefore, when they asked me to be a member of that task force, I'm sorry. And I jumped. One of the reasons, I have several certificates on human trafficking, and also, by myself, by ourselves, we cannot do anything. You heard Marcel talk about human trafficking is a business for people, more than $32 billion a year. It doesn't attack only women, it attacks children or young men as well. Right now in the schools, because I'm working the system, they have people around the school to recruit. What I'm asking you, all of you sitting down here, and I thank Senator Campbell, Honorable Campbell, for putting that task in front of us. Because some of us, we don't know about it. We think it's happening in California. We think it's happening in Texas. You take Georgia. But right now, in Miami, we are the third rank.
Third in the country.
And therefore, what we're going to do about it, and this is something very sensitive, we don't know who we're going to put off on top of the feet, because we don't know who in charge of it. The reason why that brings more money than drugs itself. Everybody, the school teacher can be a trafficker. Your neighbor can be a trafficker. For example, I remember when I was, in Tallahassee, our senator was fighting for a bill. She didn't want that bill to pass. The reason why? So you can live wherever you live. You have a house in Miami, you can rent that house to someone. That person comes to live in that house. You don't know what that person, what kind of business is going to do in that house. You live in Washington, D.C., for example, and that person went to your house in Miami. He can traffic other people's children and live without nobody knows. Therefore, this is a plague. This is a disease. It's attack on our churches, on our school, our children, our neighbor, our women, our young men. We need to do something about it.
Do you see how special these ladies are? That was the Health Task Force. Please, please give them another round of applause. The next task force is the Education and Civic Engagement Task Force. I'm about to introduce the Education and Civic Engagement Task Force Chair. But before we talk about him, Dr. Norman White has a few words to say.
Dr. Christopher Gates inspires youth to be creative, initiative, insightful thinkers by empowering them to have high expectations for success. With over a decade in the field of education, from kindergarten through 12th grades, as well as a former vocational supervisor in the private sector, Dr. Gates has received numerous local, state, and national awards in recognition for his contributions to schools, communities, and the profession. Dr. Gates has written over $500,000 in grants to support education, as well as creating new and innovatives to support education, family engagement, and financial literacy. Without further ado, please help me welcome Dr. Gates.
Thank you. It's good to be here. Thank you all so very much. Senator Campbell, thank you for the opportunity. On behalf of the Education and Civic Engagement members here today, we thank you for the opportunity to serve. And so with that, if our members who are represented here today can go ahead and stand up. We have Makissa. Go ahead and stand, thank you. And Cindy, Dr. Eugene. There's also Mr. Kilpatrick. Thank you all so very much. The scope of the Education and Civic Engagement Task Force has twofold priorities. It includes issues in education from pre-K all the way to higher education, and civic participation through civic engagement. One of the most important things about what we do is we're interconnecting the two sectors of education and civic engagement. One of the things, of course, after the horrific events of Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School, our task force has drafted legislation that prioritized three different specific areas. We looked at uniform single point entries for our entry measures for our schools and our campuses, increase high school, or all schools in general, school resource officers, as well as school hardening measures and metal detectors. So immediately after Senator Campbell has met with the students from Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in the critical aftermath, and with due diligence through her work through the legislative process, fought for the inclusion of many measures in drafting legislation with her Senate colleagues. The security and safety of Florida students is critical. It's important. There were a lot of measures on the docket, but they were never brought to the floor. They were hidden in committees. But unfortunately, after what happened at Marjory Stoneman Douglas, the critical needing issues were brought back to the table. Further supporting Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School, task force members volunteered to support the March for Our Lives participants in Parkland. We met and we escorted students and families to the stage, and we also prepared them for their leading role as they were leading the march route on that day. So independent of the March for Our Lives rally in Parkland, we also had our youth members to participate in the march in Washington and DC as rally participants. They demonstrated the civic engagement part of what we do within our task force, that engagement, and they did the most critical part, which was to engage with their student voice. Oftentimes we forget about the power of our youth, and of course as task force members we made it a priority to make sure that our student voice is recognized, and so they represented as youth council members on our task force. This critical element of the youth voice is never underestimated, and the Education and Civic Engagement Task Force are proud to be all-inclusive, demonstrating how we can build youth leadership for collective impact. Now, the details of everything that we did, we provided you with an action and outreach guide or pamphlet. You should have that. Senator Campbell will, of course, at some point go into detail of all the hard work of what was taking place, from everything from the different agenda items to how it moved, and of course talk about what she did as far as the vote, and of course the critical part of meeting with the families and actually talking to them. Now we know Parkland is of course Broward County, but of course we know the senator represents District 38, and so that critical moment and element was a part of not only listening to them, but seeing what she can do for the safety and security of District 38. Thank you.
Thank you. This is the time while we talk about education. We would like to all stand, pause for a moment, 17 seconds, a moment of silence for the 17 children that we lost. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Gates. We will now introduce to you our Affordable Housing Task Force. I have to tell you that our Vice President, Dr. Norman White, oversees this task force. And we're going to be having our interim vice chair of that task force speak in a moment. Now, Dr. Tikem calls her right hand. Excuse me, guys, she's very special. I call her the one who keeps everything together. Please help me welcome our interim vice chair of the Affordable Housing Task Force, Miss Joanne Thema. Now, before she speaks, we're going to have her stand up while we say a few words about her.
Thank you. Ms. Joanne Timot is a property accountant professional for a top-performing commercial real estate investment firm in South Florida. Joanne's clientele consists of investors, developers, capitalists, and CFOs. Her experience includes managing multi-million-dollar portfolios for a myriad of companies. Working for a publicly traded real estate investment trust, REIT, with the New York Stock Exchange polished her skills as they closed on a $7.7 billion merger. Doing good, Ms. Timot. Joanne graduated from the University of South Florida with 2 concentrations in international business and communication. As a top performer by election, she is a natural-born winner. Without further ado, please help me to introduce Ms. Joanne Timot.
Here in the Miami-Dade community, housing is one of the largest expenses for so many families, especially our lower income families. This is a major financial burden for many individuals, and today we are launching the Affordable Housing Task Force so that we can provide housing opportunities that are accessible to the community right now, but many individuals aren't aware of it. They don't know the programs that are out right now that will assist them in purchasing a home for the first time, or even, renting a home for the first time, or saving their families from some of the crises that have occurred, in 2008. There are people till this day that are still working very hard to pick up the pieces. And there are opportunities out there today. They just aren't aware of them. So what we want to do is let them know that these programs are accessible. They're out there. We're willing to help facilitate and to help them get on those waiting lists, understand what a voucher program is, and even many of the displaced residents that have just experienced a major natural disaster that have just occurred with Hurricane Irma. There's still people right now still trying to figure out how they're going to have a roof over their heads or create a roof over their heads for their families. Many individuals were able to sustain that natural disaster, but there are so many individuals right now still trying to figure out a way for themselves, for their families, and for their kids. So the Affordable Housing Task Force will understand the many developments that Miami-Dade has underway. There are a lot of housing built, I would say lower income housing, affordable housing opportunities all around Miami, Florida. You can probably drive down 79th, so many different streets, Biscayne, and you see these new developments happening, or you see this new building, and you're like, well, how can I get signed up, or how can I, meet the requirements that they need in order to live in such a beautiful building, in such a really nice area. And that's what we're here for. you would contact us, you would keep up with our updates on Facebook, you would come to our events that we will be having, launching, so that you and your families can create a safe and healthy lifestyle.
And if you look on your seats, you may find one of the affordable housing brochure or pamphlet, along with the Education Task Force brochures. The next guest you're about to hear from is extraordinary. We're going to leave the best for last. Please welcome our guest speaker, Mercedes Alvarez.
Hello. Thank you for the introduction. I don't think I need a microphone. Do you hear me? Well, I am very glad. Thank you, Senator Campbell and Madam President. They're very good friends for me because when the earthquake in Haiti started, I needed help, and I have received this wonderful call from Daphne, and we're here to help any of the task force to have this abundance of information education. So we believe that each person can help improve and change the condition of society, and we see that here with the task force. And working together with the same goals, we can change conditions, and we have seen it. That educating ourselves and others will prevent human catastrophes, which we're living these days in every community. We have seen it in Parkland, and Parkland is not the only one. It has been all over the nation, and we have, known the source of those problems. That educating our youth with truth about the real social dangers will make a change in their life, thus preventing violence. For example, in Colombia, we have helped many kids educated with drugs, and New Zealand. And New Zealand's drug abuse has dropped remarkably, and said by officials there. So these programs really work, and we're offering it for free to this community. Very important, because this person is a colonel. He got the book, and he said, oh my God, I can do something about it. And he single-handed trained a lot, it says there, 10,000 members of the National Force. And this is a fact. Thanks to this book and the drug-free world, Colombia's violence has dropped. And it can be single-handed with these two campaigns. This campaign has been exported now to other countries. And we're training the police corps so we can have peace. So I bring up all this information, very valuable, so we can come together and we can do something about it. So the solutions are, get with Mercedes, me, and shop for the social program you want. Very simple, it's for free. Decide with whom and which community you're implementing it. Order online the free pact. So I can help you, I can write your number, and we can establish a communication. Our social reform officials will guide you to implement the programs. You don't have to do anything, you don't have to think. It's already all written. Get volunteers and inspire to implement it. People want to help. Social improvement will start springing around the communities. You will see it. It's very fast, okay? And organize and delegate more people and inspire them.
I would like to introduce Miss.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. So glad to be here, and District 38 is really lucky to have you, because this is a wonderful initiative that you've started here. Everybody that's participating has an impressive resume, and it's just a wonderful thing that you've started here. I just wanted to be brief, but I did just want to say a few things in regards to Senator Bill Nelson. As you know, just last week, a $1.3 trillion spending package passed, and it was signed into law. And in that package, the senator had some legislation that passed, and in regards to gun control, which is very important right now. So Senator Bill Nelson co-sponsored the bipartisan bill, which requires federal agencies and states to develop implementation plans to upload to National Instant Criminal Background Check Systems, which is known as NICS, All information prohibiting a person from purchasing a firearm rewards states who comply with these plans through federal grant preferences and reauthorizes and improves programs that help states share information on criminal records with NICS, among other things. It also included the Stop School Violence Act, which would allow schools to access federal funds to invest in programs, training, and technology to keep students safe. And it also included language to clarify that the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention can conduct research on gun violence, which was a very important thing because that wasn't allowed before. So I just wanted to share that, and also to the topic about sex trafficking, the senator voted on a bill that passed the Senate, and it's called the Stop Enabling Sex Traffickers Act, and it actually passed, and it's awaiting the signature of the president, so hopefully it's signed into law. So just wanted to share a few of those things.
Miss Jennifer Suarez, please give her another hand. She's very special. You are also special, and you are also a powerful mastermind. So what I mentioned before, it applies to you, Jennifer. So, this powerful and mastermind in our community, none of us would be here tonight without her. Nobody else has this sort of gathering of several task forces to tackle community issues. I know this for a fact because I have people that come up to me from far away who says, who is this senator? Because I don't know any other senator that has task forces and boards. They're not that organized. What do they do in Tallahassee? What do they do in Washington? Because so far she's the only one that does something like this. You know what? I'm going to start letting the media know about her. So I'm letting you know that we're about to start a movement. We're about to start a revolution. And this is going to be on the world stage because I have media production companies that is interested in this Senator Daphne Campbell. You're going to get a chance to hear from her. She is a leader. She is powerful. She is smart. And she is the only legislator who has the ability to work on both sides. She is none other than our own Florida State Senator, Dr. Daphne Campbell.
Please. I didn't want all this, Jennifer. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Come on, guys. Good evening.
Hello. Good evening.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Listen, this is the board meeting, not Senator Campbell meeting. Remember that, Senate District 38 board meetings. Anyway, let me say thank you to the board from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, guys. Because I know when I called on each and one of you and I asked you to be on the board, everybody said yes right away. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you all. Mwah. And thank you all for coming. For those who don't know who I am, I'm Senator Daphne Campbell. I was elected in 2016 to represent District 38. District 38 have 15 cities, 15. Not Miami, North Miami Beach, Miami Shores, El Portal, Biscayne Park, Aventura, Golden Beach, Sonia Beach, Indian Creek. You don't have to help me, I remember them. North Bay Village, Miami Beach, I have it. City of Miami. So it's 15 cities together, 15 cities. North Miami Beach is one of my cities. And can you imagine for me to represent 15 cities, and 15 cities have to be represented with 500,000 constituents. It's no way I could do this by myself, no way. And this is why a lot of people complaining about senators don't do nothing, state representatives don't do nothing, because it's a lot of constituents they can handle, but they don't have the mind to say, let me do something to make sure everybody is well taken care of. This is the reason when I got elected, that was the first time I did, I created the advisory board with 12 members. And this year we have 13 members, to the board. I believe I saw Ms. Jennifer have a little booklet she gave everybody, meet the board, where I sent it with their resume, and we sent it to our contacts over and over. While I was in Tallahassee for 2 months, I sent it out a lot to over 40,000 constituents I have in my database to make sure everybody knew who is who's on the board. And truly, and we have 12 task forces as well. We have affordable housing, healthcare, education, we have youth empowerment, senior citizen, veteran, you could name it. But let me tell you something, the healthcare task force went to Tallahassee. That was very impressive. Extremely impressive. I had them standing on the floor, present them on the floor, right? I presented you guys on the floor, and they took pictures and visited all the members, went to the Speaker of the House, the Governor, the State of Attorney, CFO, Chief Financial Officer, and the beauty of the whole thing. Can you imagine the healthcare create their own bill? They give me family caregiver tax credit, where Governor Scott calls my office and say, I'm interested in this bill, I love the bill, and we're going to make sure this bill is law. But it didn't happen because of Parkland issues. And the education, which one? I think we have 2 bills, right? There was 2 bills, one human trafficking too. But what I'm saying, when I decided to create the board and the task forces, I believe that was God who inspired me to do that. Because I always go to my bed and think. I don't sleep. I keep thinking during the night. So this is why, I don't know if you guys know about it, session just gone. We went from January 9 to May 11. We have to extend it a little bit because of Parkland issues. So while I was there from January to March 11, and I created for the first time ever Indian Week in the state of Florida. Ever. They never had that before. And I created again Jewish Week in the state of Florida. Can you imagine? I am a little African American, and all these Jewish in Tallahassee, and no one ever think about them, but I did. You see, this is powerful. I created the Jewish Week in Tallahassee. The Jews, all of them were so amazed. Say, why is you have to bring that up? I said, well, I went to my bed and I can't sleep, and I was thinking about all the Jewish in my community, and I said, let me do something for you guys. They were very happy. Jewish Week in Tallahassee, Indian Week in Tallahassee. We have every week. We have Muslim Week in Tallahassee, Taiwan. We have Nigerian celebrate their 30 years, because I've been celebrating them for past 3 years now in Tallahassee. So basically, while I'm in Tallahassee, I kept Tallahassee busy for my constituency. I invited them to come over and to make sure, their concerns heard, and whatever appropriation they have. This year was very, very challenging because of Parkland issues. But I wasn't happy because they didn't get what they asked for. But you know what it is. Tallahassee is very challenging, and especially I was new. But I could tell you for my 2 years, with God's grace, with your help, with your support, with my board members' support, my task force's support, I was extremely excellent, extremely successful in Tallahassee for my 2 years. Extremely. So guys, I thank you all for coming. I'm not going to speak too much. I thank you all for coming. But please get involved. This is election year. Get involved. You don't get involved,
Somebody else will.
somebody else will. And if somebody else will, what's going to happen? You're not going to happy, but you didn't get involved. You have to get involved. You have to get engaged. Yes, ma'am, I need to see you in the campaign trail. You guys need to be involved and make your voices heard. Don't sit under the table. Sit right on the table, and you want to be a part of what's going on. And it's very good. This is why I really appreciated all my board members and task forces chairs and vice chairs for the work you guys do. There's no way I could do this by myself, but you guys doing the work, you make me look good. You know, I have all confidence. Daphne Campbell gonna go back to Tallahassee to continue the work she started. It's no, I don't care you could be millionaire or trillionaire, but one thing I know, with you guys' help, I am so confident with the work you guys started and the work you guys doing and what you're gonna do more and more and more and more, especially affordable housing. I was so shocked to hear you have that big position. But anyway, but this is a very important task force, affordable housing, because I know a lot of, like elderly is complaining the 1 bedroom is too expensive with the little money they're making for Social Security. I have a lot of people coming to the office, they don't have no place to stay. So, it's a very, very challenging area you're going to really handle, and I know you're going to do it well. I have confidence in you. So guys, please, if you guys want to get involved with the task forces, get involved. If you want to get involved with the board, it's already chosen, but you could work alongside with the board to make things happen. I know, Evans, you have a right hand right there. We're going to help you a lot. We'll send up my girl. Let people see who you are, because you did a fantastic job last year with the tournament. This is, can you introduce yourself for everybody to know who you are?
I am Miriam Charleston with the Sports and Culture Task Force.
She is with Sport and Cultures Task Force. They did a tournament last year with, we give over, he said 1,000. We didn't give the 1,000. Let me make that correction for him. We passed out with 5,000 book bags last year. And Pierre was there, she saw how many we passed it. 5,000 book bags, and tournament was fantastic. So we're going to do it again this year. I know healthcare also going to do healthcare. The housing going to do, you're going to do town hall meetings. Human trafficking. I know this one, that's her baby, human trafficking. Mon Premier, she don't talk to you about human trafficking. So basically you see everybody doing something, and we have a faith-based, we're launching today with Dr. Mondesir. He has 3 degrees, 3 doctorates. I don't know why a young man like that stay in school only. 3 doctorates. Doctor in psychology, doctor in theology, doctor in what? Biblical studies, and I don't know, the next doctorate is going to have it for District 38. So basically, you see, I have a lot of people on the board who are very educated, and they know what they're doing. They make me look good. And I look good. I thank you guys. I don't know how should I thank you guys anymore, but I'm asking you guys to keep me in prayers, and with God's grace, everything's going to be okay. With God's grace, I will go back to Tallahassee to continue the work I started, and you guys could continue the work you started with me, and we all together going to continue the journey from 2016 until God say enough is enough. Thank you. May God bless, and I love you.